So I used to love eating cereal. Then I had to completely stop because there's so much sugar in it. With Magic Spoon, it has zero sugar, only 4 net carbs, 13 grams of protein. So it's low carb, no sugar, gluten-free, soy-free, grain-free, and it's keto-friendly, guys. It works for everybody. Check out the link below and grab Variety Pack today. And be sure to use promo code GENIRON5 at checkout to get $5 off any order. Or go to magicspoon.com/GenIron5. And Magic Spoon are so confident in their product. If you don't like it, you get your money back, 100% guaranteed. No questions asked.
It's a real regime almost.
Oh, hell no.
They're talking about me.
All I needed was one ball.
The science of training.
And I know you don't think it's a sport. Good to see you, man. How are you?
Yeah, good. I'm good. How are you doing?
Great, great. It's a pleasure to be talking to you, man.
Yeah, you too, man. Thanks for reaching out.
I like your mustache, man. It looks nice.
Thank you.
Does it take a lot of care to to keep it up like that?
Yeah, you kind of have to. Otherwise, it hangs in your food.
I hear. That's
So
awesome, man. That's like a signature.
Right, exactly. It's become my my brand. We have a show that has a steampunk theme. We have like hats. Everybody's got hats on like that, and we're in costumes.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I grew the mustache, and it kind of stayed that way.
That's awesome, man. That's what's up. So, I'm excited to be talking to you because I talk to, and in my interviews, I talk to a lot of different bodybuilders, different athletes from different, divisions, walks of life. But I'm excited to talk to you because, you pretty much right now became one of the key main promoters in NPC and IFBB Pro, right? Would you agree with that?
It seems to be going that direction. Thank you. I'll try to stay modest about it, but
no, come on, don't be humble, man. You know you're dominating right now.
It really the pandemic in a lot of ways helped us because my key is really with the athletes, and I knew everybody's canceling on them. But as an athlete myself, I know how it feels to have your prep derailed. And to work that hard and then just have it taken away from you. So I stopped at nothing. And so here I was, like, I put on 5 shows in 2020. And I think while everybody was failing at putting on shows, we were successful, and that helped us a lot. I make the analogy, I don't know if you've seen Forrest Gump, where him and Lieutenant Dan are out trying to get shrimp. And all the shrimp boats sink, and they're the ones who fought the storm, and they're coming back with all the shrimp. I'm Forrest Gump.
That's an awesome example, man. I feel like you've built brands when it comes to these shows, right? Like, talk about some of the brands, some of the show names, because I know Legion is one of your key properties, right? What are the other ones? Lou Ferrigno, of course, Classic was a huge one. What are the other ones that people know you by?
Well, Tahoe Show was our first show back in 2011, and that it's simple. You embrace what Tahoe has to offer. You embrace the brand of Lake Tahoe. So we bring in these just keep going up. You bring in the deer as the buff deer as our logo. Nice simple logo, but people get it. They remember the logo, and it makes sense. And you bring in those things. You bring in the activities. It's at a casino. It has an after party. We do shoots on the lake. Now we brought out like Ashley Kay and Aaron Stern out on the lake and did video shoots with them with drones and stuff. And so that's one of them. Then the Mother Lode, I mentioned earlier with the steampunk feel. And again, it's kind of based on the region. We're near Virginia City, where was the Mother Lode. It's named after the gold rush. Of course, Burning Man is here, so there's some Burning Man undertones in there. But so that's what we do. West Coast Classic, it's all about SoCal. New Mexico is all about that destination. That one's been fun. It's one of our newer ones. We've been like sneaking aliens and things into there, with that kind of theme. So yeah, it's like the Vegas Strip. Every casino has a theme, and that's what makes it memorable. Like, what theme do you want? And that way you're not just going to these shows with the same experience over and over again, the same stupid banners, the same kind of bland convention center. These all try to really have character, and it should be fun. You work so hard, it should be.
I know you're expanding into overseas. I think next year, right? You have shows in Kazakhstan, Russia, all other parts of that region, right? You expanding with the NPC Global, right?
Correct. Yeah, I did the first one in 2019. I pulled one off this year, which I wasn't able to go to. They actually it's quite a battle between the IFBB and the NPC. And I had planned to go out there for my show in April in Moscow. It appears someone made sure that I couldn't go. I'll put it that way. When we went in for the visa, I was going to get a special visa. My name was already in the system as blocked. Who actually did it? I mean, we can only guess, but I couldn't go. Fortunately, my girlfriend Bojana is a Serbian citizen, and they don't require visas at all. So she basically went out there and ran that show for me. Yeah.
The whole split, when the whole split happened between the IFBB Pro and NPC and the IFBB regular one, international, right? Like I understand that issues obviously, right? But like ultimately NPC is the only organization that you can use to compete at the major competitions, like the Olympia, for example, right? So like I never understood like why the people on the IFBB amateur side, you know what I mean? Like I feel like it was a loss, you know what I'm saying? Like they could have, I feel like they should have worked it out somehow, you know what I mean? That was a loss for them, I think.
I think it was. I agree with you. I've talked to Jim Mannion quite a bit about, the day it actually happened when you meet with Raphael, and it was, there's definitely a lot of ego involved. And Jim was calling Raphael out for doing some stuff. One of the big things Raphael did was he took a lot of the money from the promoters. Jim doesn't take any money from us. He was taking 50% or more from the promoters of registration money, so above and beyond, the sanction fees and such like that. And, what they do is, my experience in Russia, and mine's kind of limited to Russia, and what they do is they run a business not by providing the best product, but by using politics or logistics to mess with you. When I put out my date for my pro qualifier, rather than them saying, hey, our show is better, we will provide more for you, the athlete, they said, if you go with them, we're going to ban you. And then on top of it, then they scheduled 2 shows on the same day as us. For me, I would rather say, hey, you guys have the option to choose who you think is best for you. Who do you think will provide the best future for you? And of course, we know now in the NPC worldwide, if you want to go to the Olympia, you have to go through us. But if you want to never get out of Russia, fine, stay with those guys. And now the most recent thing is those guys, so they're all paid for by the government, right? They get government funding, I should say. But that means they're subject to WADA testing. Well, it turns out the director of the Moscow portion of the IFBB got busted. He tested positive. He's banned for 12 years. So they're in chaos right now. They basically don't have someone in Russia. And they were this close to falling apart anyway. I mean, they were paying for placement out there. One of my judges used to judge with them, and he said the reason he left was because they had to pay, girls had to pay $8,000 to get first place with it's called the FBBR in Russia. So it's karma's come around, and it's what's best for those athletes.
Since we're on the topic of international IFBB, right? They have they have an IFBB Elite, right? That's their pro organization, right? Correct, so they have this guy Michal Krizo right now. I'm sure you've heard of him. He's like the #1 IFBB Elite superstar, right?
Yeah.
He won all the shows over there. So there's a big debate going on. What if he was to compete against the guys in the regular IFBB Pro in here? You know what I mean? In your personal opinion, what do you think about that guy? And do you think he would match up? How do you think he would match up against the pros?
It's funny because I don't know what he looks like, and to that, it shows how little they are compared to, here I am, with shows all over the world, and I really don't know who the guy is. I couldn't tell if he walked in the room, I wouldn't know his name, and that's where you're at. You're the very top of the IFBB Elite, and I don't know your name. Jim Mannion won't know your name, and probably Steve Bleckman won't know your name. The people who should know, they don't know because they're just not on our radar. Now, to answer the other part of your question, I think he should be able to compete with our guys, but I think he's got to pay his dues just like our guys. You don't get to just skip all the steps. You can go to a pro qualifier, and you don't have to, with say our Russia show, you don't have to qualify for a pro qualifier in most countries. You do in Brazil, you do in the UK. So you go to the pro qualifier, win the show, go to a pro show, win the show, get qualified, and go to the Olympia. You know, everybody looks different in pictures than they do in real life. And who knows, you stand that guy next to some of our guys, he might not get that Olympia qualification his first try.
I don't know. I feel like when the whole split happened, I feel like the you as a promoter, you would know, right? Like they didn't hustle hard enough to come up with like the big shows for the elite organ. Like there's, you know what I mean? Like they should have. I don't know. I'm just saying. Obviously, IFBB Pro is going to be the IFBB Pro. You know what I mean? No matter what. But
you look at the kind of the dollars and cents of it, and it's you know, for one, they're getting subsidized by governments. You know, so to create a show that is the level of the Olympia or the Legion, it isn't going to be possible. They don't have that mindset. They get their money from the government, and that's what they're going to build. Now, there's like the Siberian show that's getting pretty big. That they're doing a good job of production. But cool, you're the champion of Siberia. You're still not Mr. Olympia. You know, and I don't know that anybody. The Olympia would really have to drop the ball for anybody to ever take that position. And it's a lot of work. You know, that was started by Joe Weider, 50 years ago. Good luck with that. You know, they would really have to have a lot of money. And even The Rock trying to do his show, you know, the pandemic hit, everything has to be right. And you got to have Rock kind of money to be there in that echelon with the Olympia.